Welcome to TUC Half Hour, the official weekly television program for the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. I am your host, Avi Michael. You see, women participation in the Trade Union Congress is very important for representation, for promotion of gender equality, and for advocacy. And that's what makes today's episode truly special, as we are joined by the National Chairperson, TUC Women's Commission. But before we go into the interaction and dive into the questions and find out what the commission and what the chairperson has been up to, let us unravel our trivia question for the week. As always, kindly stay tuned till the end of the episode to find the answer out. TUC Half Hour continues after the break. Comrade Hafsat Shuaibu is the National Chairperson of the Trade Union Congress Women Commission and the National Trustee of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. She also chairs the National Coalition for the Elimination of Gender-Based Violence and Harassment in the World of Work. A professional accountant and manager, she's an advocate for gender equity, disability inclusion, and child rights. Comrade Shuaibu has pioneered nationwide campaigns, including the ratification of ILO C-190, and led research on equal access to decent work for persons with disabilities. She is dedicated to promoting women's interests and monitoring gender equality within TUC, workplaces, and governments. Her contributions have earned her multiple awards for excellence and leadership, recognizing her selfless service towards the betterment of humanity. Welcome back. Like I mentioned earlier, today's episode is truly special as we are joined by the National Chairperson of the TUC Women Commission. Please join me to welcome a visionary leader dedicated to advancing equity and inspiring future generations, Comrade Hafsat Shuaibu. Hello, Ma. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It is truly an honor to have you join us in the studio today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So I would want to start with what inspired you to take on the role as a national chairperson, and maybe you could also walk us through some of the achievements so far.
All right. Thank you very much, sister. This position is actually elective. I would say I grew through the ranks. It's a basic background. You have to be in the employment of the government or in the private sector for you to even be a member of any union. Now, it all started with me not liking injustice, and then also realizing that as women and also the girl child, we do not have a voice, And so the whole thing started when I joined the unit of my place of primary assignment. I was first elected as the treasurer of my unit in the National Emergency Management Agency. Then I grew to the rank of the vice chairperson, sorry, I beg your pardon, yes, of the unit. Then I grew to be in the secretary of the FCT Women Commission, that's for the TUC, and then this big one. Yeah, so I grew through the ranks. It wasn't handed down to me, no. I grew through the ranks. So even if you have the inspiration, you need to walk it, and then you get to the point of contesting for it and then going to the polls.
Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It seems that you have walked through this process. You are building yourself up to be the leader that you are today.
Yeah.
And what are some of the achievements that the Women Commission have attained so far?
Oh, we've attained so much. The Congress Women Commission is 22 years old today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I would say nothing new, because if you need to grow and you also need to be commended when you step down, you need to appreciate the works of your past leaders. So we only improved on what has been, like I would say in the past 6-7 years, in the past 22 years, we only improved on what's been happening in the past. Annually, we celebrate International Women's Day, but when the whole thing started, it's always been in Lagos State, But when we came in, we're like, no, TUC is not for Lagos State alone, it's TUC Nigeria.
Yes.
And so there is need for us to explore. And so we had the first one in the FCT, and the women liked it. This thing about Abuja,
yes.
People coming from across the country, and some even had to come for some of our members that work in affiliates that are actually not in the country, they are in the diaspora. They all came around, and this is one particular event that every congresswoman looks up to. So when we all came to Abuja the first time, I think it was in 2019, there was this thing, about Abuja, and we're like, oh, thank you so much for bringing us to Abuja. And also it was easy to get everybody here, There's always just a direct flight, from Lagos, Port Harcourt, and wherever. So we're here in our numbers, over 700 of us.
Wow.
Yes. At the end of the day, the hall was too small to accommodate us. We thought it was just going to be the usual 200 women, converging, but we had over 500, over 700.
Wow.
Because the hall was for 500 people, and we had over 250 people seated outside. And even the food didn't go around,
Wow.
And so we had the attendance, so we had to start organizing food for those that came from Taraba, Borno, far north. We all come. Before now, it used to be like 1 or 2 women going to Lagos. But we realized that from each state, we had over 30 women. You understand? And over 50, 80 women from the affiliates, So we're like, oh. And the women were like, we're not taking it out of Abuja to anywhere. We're going to become, And, we looked at it. Yes, it was easy, as per organization, bringing everybody down and everything, So for the past 6 years, I would say, we've always had International Women's Day celebration in Abuja. And then we usually have this annual seminar, Yes, before now, we've just had it once in Abuja, and I would say the participants then were just like 150 people. But I tell you that to the glory of God, in short, I must pause to appreciate my women. They are wonderful. They are very supportive. Since 2019, we've always had women, exceeding 500 attending the annual seminar.
Wow.
Yes. And the men have been like, oh, are you people doing it? And let me shock you. The one for this year, because some of our affiliates, our affiliate women commissions had their seminars, you know, they also, yes, they copied from us. Yeah, you know, it's a good thing. Now, they had theirs shortly before the dates we fixed. We had to reschedule for like 2-3 times. In the end, we were just like, okay, the International Women's Day is just by the corner. Yeah, for next year, 2025. And we still have the 16 days of activism, which is still in this month. We have the International Day for the men. We have this, that, and okay, so why don't we just have a webinar? And so we collaborated with Michael Imodu National Institute for Labor Studies. You know how many participants we had? 395 women.
Wow.
Yeah. The Institute DG, the Director General, was shocked. And his staff, you know, the facilitators were like, they've never had it this way. And, you know, like women. And I think the first one was on a Wednesday. We had glitches, network glitches, so we had to reschedule a week later. Same number, you know, so... And it was paid for. It wasn't a free thing.
Women.
Yeah, so it was paid for. And so the Director General was like, women, no, this is strange. It means something good is happening
here.
Yeah, you know, so it's been like that. We also said, you know, in order to support the girl child, we also celebrate the International Girls Child Day. And usually we invite the primary school pupils and the secondary school girls. We don't make it a girls' affair. Yeah, we bring in the boys, and the facilitators are also mixed, you know. We can't do anything without the men and the boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
Yes, and then, yes, and like today is the 16 days of activism campaign against gender-based violence. You know, it's flagging off today. Right now, women and men and the school children and core members at the National Secretariat of the Congress, we're having a webinar, and everybody, we had, before I left the place, we had over 250 people on that call. So it's been very good. Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's actually very impressive to hear. I mean, with all we know so far, we just scratched the surface of how much work the women are actually up to, and it's so impressive. I really picked up on what you said about a lot of things not being changed for over 20 years of leadership, which means for all women that have actually assumed the position have done an amazing job for people that are preceding them. So that's actually very impressive. So we would want to know, we don't want to, you know, work on assumptions. What exactly is the role of, you know, the Women Commission?
Okay, thank you very much. Everything I just talked about, those are the programs, you know, the major programs of the Congress Women Commission. We collaborate with NGOs, we collaborate with CSOs, we collaborate with international NGOs. One of them is the American Solidarity Center. You know, it's actually a group, you know, that, or would I say a platform, you know, that empowers workers, that gives workers a voice. You know, we have had so many programs with them. As a matter of fact, when we got back in 2019 from Geneva, where the ILO C190 was passed, and we, you know, because we're a signatory to it, Nigeria, I'm in Nigeria now, we got back to the country, and, you know, COVID-19 broke out. Yes, we were not... nothing stops us in the Women Commission of the Congress. Yeah, we had our events online throughout that period, but immediately we were opened up. You know, it was relaxed. Everywhere was relaxed. We came out and partnered with the Solidarity Center, you know, to actually have a campaign across the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, where we asked the government to ratify the convention. Now we have had a lot of programs with that body. They've been so supportive, and we work with a lot of groups. Now, your question, to your question, I beg your pardon, the roles of the Women Commission is to actually mobilize, you know, women from all affiliates, and then, of course, you know what our issues are. You know.
So I'm sensing a lot of mobilization, empowerment, awareness. That's very interesting. So I would want to know what specific policies are crucial for advancing women's rights and opportunities in Nigeria.
You know the burning one now. We're asking for free seats. Sounds impossible, but very, very possible. You know, if they would consider other policies because it is for them, then there's nothing wrong with them passing this for our sakes. Just this. I think that's going to be the starting point. If we get this, a lot of things can fall in place. And I would want to encourage the women that that era of wanting to sit at the back seats has passed. We really need to be seen, we need to be heard, and we also need to support each other. Because over time you see women saying, I would prefer to vote that man instead of voting for her. And you know, basically it's about we and our children. Our fathers, our husbands, our brothers do hardly come out on that day. So why do we have to throw our votes away? It should be a thing that, okay, can sit on the desk and negotiate. Oh, you want us to have you? Then can we do it 60-40? You take the first position. We don't mind. We can support you. Just to always remind you about us,
we are there.
You know, and our children, you know. And gradually we move, just like it's happening in the Congress, you know. Our president is such a wonderful person. You know, he's introduced a lot of good policies for the women. Just recently, he sponsored over 200 women across the affiliates to Lagos Business School. You and I know that the least cost fee in that institute is 500,000 naira. So I'll leave you to multiply 500,000 naira by 200, yes. Whatever you get, you know, it's such an amount, you know, yes. And that's not the only thing, you know, he's created a lot of spaces for women. If there's going to be any election at the state councils, you know, of the Congress, it's either you're allowing a woman to be the vice chairman or vice chairperson as it is now, or the secretary. Nobody contested with us. Nigeria can have such policies for the women, you know. Oh, you're vying for the position of the president. Okay, let's have a female vice president. You want to be the governor of a particular state, let the deputy governor be a woman, you know, down the line. That policy, if implemented, introduced and implemented in Nigeria, it will go a long way in solving a good number of women issues. You understand? So
I think inclusion, like you rightly said, passes a message across that you are welcomed, you are seen, and you are heard. And we'd love to see more of that. You spoke about the, is it 16 days?
16 days of activism.
Can you just shed a little light on that?
Okay, it's an annual event. It kicks off on 25th of every November, and it continues for 10 days, you know, like, is it 10, 16 days, I beg your pardon, from 25th of November to 10th of December, and it's all about organizing campaigns, conferences, seminars to stop gender-based violence.
Yes, that's beautiful. So yes, you touched on, you know, what my next question was going to be, the training at the Lagos Business School. Would you say that it had any, you know, big or positive impact? And also, what other initiatives can, you know, help with capacity building among women?
Thank you so much. The LBS training had a big and positive impact on the women commission, on the Congress as a whole. Not just having, but it's still having. You know, imagine benefiting from something good, and you are the organizer, or I am the organizer, or I mobilized the women, but I do not even know how far it's gone, but I was shocked. And we were like, okay, we had a training online last week, and they were like, oh, I learned this at the Lagos Business School. You know, it opened our eyes to a lot of things. You know, it's not about, trade unionism is not about banging the tables, fighting the government, fighting the employers. You still need to have something here, you know, and that is what capacity building is all about. You know, looking at us, we have our places of primary assignment, and as some of us can actually sponsor ourselves, but this is coming from the Congress president. You know, everything paid for, we got there, and what we were taught, even for those of us that thought we've actually gone far, our eyes were actually opened to a lot of things. You know, things, policies, everything, things keep changing, and that's why we should read, you know, learn, unlearn and relearn, you know. So it's got a big and positive impact on us, and honestly we're so grateful. We're so grateful to him. And yes, talking about other policies, there's a very big one on the line, but I'm not going to mention it here. You know why? To avoid unnecessary lobbying. You know,
Okay.
if you pay your price, you would always be remembered. How do you pay your price? You don't sit in the comfort of your home when things are happening and you just want to be recognized. No, there are people that would come all the way from wherever when there is an event, and they are there not to be a participant, but they also contribute, getting things done, having their hands on deck and all of that to see that nothing goes wrong. You know, so to avoid unnecessary lobbying, I would just want to keep it here. But I know at the next event or whatever we are featuring, you're going to get to know about it.
Okay,
Yes.
so what I'm getting is putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yes, so women are made for more. And obviously, they said an illiterate is not somebody that did not go to school, but someone that has refused or cannot unlearn and relearn. Truly a pleasure and an honor to have you today. Any final words for women, or, you know, any last words or parting words you have for us, ma'am?
Okay, thank you so much, sister, for this opportunity. I must commend you, I must commend your crew, and I must commend TUC Half Hour. You need to see how we wait for this program to air every Wednesday. We're so grateful, and I'm so grateful to be here. And to our number one he for she, Comrade Engineer Festus Osifo, the Congress President General and the President of Pangasin, the President of all presidents, and the number one worker in Nigeria. I want to thank you for putting this together for us. Thank you so much. We appreciate all you do for us. We love you, you know, we have always said this, and you can always have our support. Yes, just go to sleep and allow us to do the work for you. And final words for the women. Women, that time has come.
Yes.
That we need to rise from our sleep, from our slumber, from whatever you want to call it. We must stop paying lip service to all of these things that we always ask and fight for. You don't expect anybody to spoon feed you. Yeah, I can ask for a spoon feed for the girl child, but not for women. So it is that time that we need to come together, you know, collaborate, partner, and support each other. Fix your sister's turn crown without telling it to the world. Whatever it is, a win for a woman is a win for the women. So we must not fail. We must be seen as picking and working and supporting each other. Our male counterparts usually have their issues. I've always been so lucky to work with 13, 15 men at a time, you know, as a national executive. They usually have their issues, but they hide it from me. But I'm very smart, and so they know. But I've never had the opportunity of, you know, mediating or getting things right between them. No. So that is what it should be. That, yes, we should stop running ourselves down. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let us truly be the word women supporting women. Thank you so much, ma. Like
Thank
I said,
you so
it's
much.
been such an honor and a pleasure just interacting with you.
Thank you so much.
Well,
I appreciate
that's it for the episode today. But before we draw the curtains, let's find the answer to our trivia question for the week. TUC Half Hour continues after the break. Thank you for joining us for the episode today. But before we draw the curtains, let's find the answer out to our trivia question. Do not forget to follow us on all our social media handles displayed on the screen for more updates and information. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Ave Michael. God bless Nigerian workers. Bye for now.